Hello and welcome back to Common Sense for Relationships.
Mm.
Yes, it's a wonderful episode that we have here today. And once again, this is one of our remote.
Yes, we are away from set.
Yes, away from digital set. So I'm with my husband. Darling, could you kindly introduce yourself?
I live story. My name is Anietie Bature.
Yes, on this channel will bring you valuable information to help you make better decisions in your lives and in your relationships.
Please, if you can hear us, do endeavor to type 111 in the comment section so we know that you can hear us. Can you hear us? Please, if you can hear us, type 111. 111. Anybody on set? Yes. Please, if you can hear us, type 111. Yay! They can hear us. They can hear us.
Okay. Hi. Debbie, hi. Kingsley Epion, hello. Okay, so our topic today is preparing for the inauguration. Oh, sorry.
You too, what to do that one?
Not inauguration, preparing for marriage. Yes, we are, just to let you know, in Abuja right now.
Yes, we're in Abuja for the inauguration. We are on ground where the inauguration is taking place live. Do you understand? And we're just feeling the vibes of all that is going on. The politicking, the security, the town is full. You can't even get what's it called? Hotel to book. Now, if you are coming now, you are late.
Yeah, the town is full of guests, visitors, and yes, if you go out, it's not like you see people all over the place because I guess everybody's waiting for Monday, right?
Yeah.
But yes, if you are coming into town, you will feel it. You will really feel it because of how congested the airports are. And how and how much time you're going to spend maybe to collect your luggage and so on. Yeah. So we yesterday was quite interesting at the airport. All the flights fully booked.
Yes.
And people looking for how to get any kind of ticket.
Any kind of.
Yes, that will get them here to Abuja. So that was interesting to see. And yes, landing again was another thing. So we had to circle for about 25 minutes before we finally were allowed to touch down. Quite interesting.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so, okay. All right, so today we are looking at preparing for marriage. We try to compare it with preparing for the inauguration. One thing that is interesting is when you look at Nigeria, right? And the fact that we are preparing for the inauguration of the president. It looks like, hey, this is going to be a binding decision, binding action, binding activity, right? More like once we do this inauguration and all the oaths are taken and so on, then it becomes a matter of it's a done deal, right? To a great extent. And it's now, hey, Nigeria, 4-year term, right? So we have the possibility of change after 4 years. And then you think about a marriage. A marriage is not for 4 years. You say till death do us part, on that day when you're so full of, emotions and there's so much love in the air, but it's not 4 years. So there's no possibility of a change in 4 years. Like, okay, after 4 years, we're going to check. If we're okay, then we continue. If we're not okay, then you know what, we just say, okay, it was nice knowing you goodbye, and then we look for the next husband or the next wife.
That also needs to do continuity projects.
Yeah, so Yes, so it's a good opportunity for all of us to just sit down and look at some of these engagements, some of these commitments, some of these what do you call them, agreements,
some of these questions really that we need to answer before
the commitments that we're talking about. Yes. Yeah. So because marriage is one of those that, hey, you shouldn't take lightly. You really should know certain things or check certain things or verify certain things. Yeah. I mean, you see what was happening in Nigeria with all the efforts to verify, all the efforts to screen, all the effort to check, all the effort to make sure of certain things before the country takes on our new leadership. So it's the same thing with marriage, right? Mr. Bature?
Yeah.
Should you go ahead and just get married to somebody just for the sake of checking the box that, okay, it's about time? I said I was going to get married at 25 and I am now 25. So yes, this guy has come along. I don't care who, I don't care what, I don't care how. You know? It just reminds me of that song. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you do, as long as you love me. And you think about it, what you do, you don't care what the person does. You don't care where the person is from, who the person is. Wow. You know, it sounds like, yeah, I don't care. You know, that kind.
It has the vibes.
You know how people used to sing it back then? Did you sing it back then? Did you even know the song back then? Anyway,
I knew the song back then. Guys don't sing those kind of songs.
But it was guys that sang the song now. The original people don't know.
It's not Backstreet
Or you say that they were singing it for us.
What's their name? They're singing it for the romantics now. They're singing it for the romantics.
You know, anyway. So yes, let's dive right in and see. Who's going first? Do I go first? Do you go first? Or does our audience go first?
So maybe our audience should tell us what are the questions, right, that you yourself personally will need to have, and that you think you need to have answered before you say I do.
Yeah.
Before the swearing in. It's true, because the marriage day is swearing in. They are coming to do.
Yes.
So before the swearing in, what are the things that you need to say I do? That you need to know before you say I do. Before you say I take on this post for the next how many years? And maybe that's another question. We need to find out how many years do you want to stay married? Because we know that inauguration usually is 4 years. After 4 years,
presidential
term, a new visiting person will come, president, governor, a new one will come after 4 years. Your relationship, how many years do you want to do this relationship
or marriage?
Hi,
Victor. Yes. Victor. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. We're happy to have you on the show today. Yes.
Yeah, Kingsley from the other side, That's why all of us are in different places. So we are doing the show remotely. Both the one that is handling this thing and the one that is handling the other things.
Yes. Debbie, good evening, welcome. Good evening, and while you're here, please just go ahead and share the link with others so we can have even more people live with us today. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so I'm waiting to see if anybody's going to. Hey, Gideon, hi. It's good to see you, Gideon. Gideon, we're talking about preparing for marriage. And Gideon, I know you're married, so if you would like to just chat in there, right? One of the things you were looking out for, one of the things you wanted to know before you got married. Yes. And I will start by sharing my first one.
Are you sure you don't want to wait for Gideon to share? This one that you want to share the first one. Am I safe?
Okay, let's wait now.
Okay, no. Go ahead. Don't say.
I'm a very submissive wife. So
don't start this thing.
You have to tell me what to
do.
First, my Lord.
Wait. Don't start this thing. We're on the show. Let's do the show.
My Lord King
submissive wife.
Yes.
Hashtag submissive wife. You like this.
Wait now.
Are you guys?
Calm down.
Okay.
So please, my darling husband, Lord, could you kindly tell me what to do right now? Should I share my first one or should I wait for the audience? Your Highness.
Stop this. You started doing it the other day. You just stop this. I don't know what you are trying to do. I don't know what you are trying to do. See, people should not believe everything you see on TV. Submissive wife. All right, see, let me tell you people, man. See, if you want to get a title of submissive wife, we have done 15 years now. You need to do this thing you are doing, Lord King,
in fact,
for the next 15 years before you can get the title.
Lean forward. So, because I am a very submissive wife, I'm even helping you to put the hair that is trying to go in a different direction, helping you to put
Oh my goodness.
See, this thing
I got shout.
It's a very serious show of submission. So Gideon has responded. Okay.
What did Gideon say?
Gideon says, of course, something. I wanted to be sure that she is the one, and that came with this inner peace.
Please,
wow.
What question? You are a married man. What question did you ask that gave you this inner peace? Because some of the guys that I know, they've been looking for this peace, but even the lady that her name is Peace doesn't have it sometimes. So Gideon, please tell them what questions do they need to ask. Because
oh my goodness.
Hashtag
submissive wife.
People should leave
you
this
see,
thing.
KJ, you're spot on in the spirit. You see, I have witnesses.
You have to do this thing for another 15. See, after 15 years, I can give you the title of a good wife.
Witnesses.
But if you're looking for title of submissive wife, we need another 15 years
to check
and confirm
and verify.
So let's leave.
That means
this show is not about submission.
Submission is not one of the things you were looking for, or it's not one of the questions you asked.
If it's one of the questions, I probably didn't get an answer, and I didn't mind. So let's just be going. Let's continue. Please ask your question. Let's be going where we are going. Thank you.
All right. So the first thing that one of the things, but this one was really important for me, that I wanted to know before saying I do, right, was, does he love me? As in me, as me am.
As me am now.
Does he love me the way I am, right? Yes, there will be certain changes as you go further in life and so on, but the me that I was at that time, did he love that me? Because I didn't want to, and this is why, right? I didn't want to get into marriage and be second guessing how my husband felt about me. I didn't want to get into marriage and be wondering, this guy, does he really love me? You know, and I didn't want to get in, and then when something happens, I'm thinking, why is it happening? Why did he do it? Is it because he doesn't care, or some of those things? You know, it's like when you add something like a misunderstanding, right? That's one issue. You now add it to, does he love me? As in, you're still asking yourself that question after marriage. It makes things a lot more difficult too. But you see, when somebody's acting a certain way in marriage, and you can say, I know he loves me. So it is not that he's doing this because he does not love me. That's another issue. So you're dealing with one issue. But if every single time there's a problem, you have to add it to the backdrop of, I'm not even sure he loves me, or he may be doing this because he does not love me, or he doesn't love me enough, or he loves somebody else more than me, it becomes too problematic to deal with. So yes, that was my first. Does he love me?
So how did you check? How did you prove that I actually did love thee?
You just want me to sing your praises. I'm not answering anything now.
So how would they know now?
No.
How would they know the question?
You did not agree that I am a submissive wife. So now that you asked this question, I do not have to answer, because I have not been I have not been labeled a submissive wife. KJ has something to say.
Is this how we're doing it now?
Wait. Let's see. KJ said, let me be the first to break the record of being a submissive. Oh, KJ, we're still talking about records. So KJ wants to break the record of being a submissive husband. Yeah, it will really be a record, right? Unless you go to certain cultures, I don't know. But the thing is usually about submissive wives. But now he's trying to say he will be the first submissive husband. Wow! Or if someone else had the record, he will break it. Good luck with that.
Let me know how it goes. Please let me know how you did it.
Okay, so yes, that was the first one. Now, what's your feedback on that? Was it something that was important to you too, or is there something else that you would like to share? Victor says inner peace. Victor says inner peace. Very important mindset. Some of us went through that valley of the shadow of whatever before finding it. By deciding to have it.
Victor, you probably need to come in and let me know how this one goes.
So when you're waiting for the peace to come by itself, and the peace is not coming, then you now make a decision that you will have peace and you must have peace. That's interesting. Okay, Victor, welcome so much to the show. Yeah. Thank you so much for that comment. Yes. Okay, so I am going to revert to my submissive wife status, and I'm going to answer the question you asked, which was, how did I know that you even loved me? So I paid attention to, some people say people receive love according to what maybe their love language is and stuff like that. Simply put, how do you prefer to be loved? How can someone express love to you, right? And so those were the things that I was looking out for. And a number of those things you fulfilled. So, yeah, paying attention, being there, listening, being able to decode mood, feeling, highs, lows.
I think I'm doing well.
Yes, a number of those things. And just being kind also. Yes. And do you know, did I tell you people that's that time when some people were going to pay plenty money for their project to be typed in the name of friendship? That time we're even friends though. In the name of friendship, some people typed my project for me. Hallelujah. You tried. Well done. I'll drop chapter 1. He will type it.
I typed the project.
Save it on floppy disk.
I typed the project for free.
Yes.
But I was sowing a seed for the future. Hallelujah.
Glory.
My goodness. I was paying the price so that the bride price will reduce. But to be true, actually at that time I didn't even know.
But
I was just being a good-natured brother. So my inner beauty was attracting things. Hallelujah.
Okay. Okay, I've shared one. You have to share one.
Okay. So, let me see. The question. Which question, sir? Which question did I ask before inauguration? Okay. So I think one of the questions will be really around money. And one of the questions will be really around money. And the question I wanted to know is more like, for richer, for poorer, is there actually a thing? Will she stay if the richer is not getting riches? Do you understand? If the rich is not getting richer, will she stay? And if the poor begins to get poorer, will she still be there? So I think I was focused. I was trying to find out. I was asking questions to try to find out whether we can go down together and rise up together. Yeah, for me that was one of the critical questions. that I have to ask.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what was I think I know, but then what made you feel that I could go low with you? That what gave you the confidence, the hope, the assurance that if things got bad, I would still be there?
That somebody, you buy somebody a birthday gift of a used book and they don't throw it to your face. You didn't have money to buy better birthday gift, and then you bought a second-hand book as a birthday gift and give somebody, and they still collected it. But let me ask one of the men vanguard, Kingsley. You are online. Do you think there's any girl that is a menu? Because you are one of those people that think the girls that can stay are finished. Do you think there's any girls remaining? Jimoski, you are the other one I'm calling. Do you think there's any girls remaining that when you buy them second-hand gifts, they will still collect it with peace of mind?
Oh my goodness.
I thought since
only 1%.
Only 1% they do for richer for poorer. Oh no. They have struck again. Even in Abuja here, they will still
followed us.
They still followed us. Even in Abuja here, they still followed us. Please, if you can still hear us, type 111. Let's know whether we are still online or they are taking us off.
Oh my goodness.
If you can still hear us, please type 111. I'm not getting any typing. Yes. We are still on too. We can move on. Yes. We can move on.
So I thought there's one that I even thought maybe that would be the reason. Or should I share?
If you have the one, share.
The day I followed you, hey, I had to enter bus. Hey, Lord. I had to enter bus to go and visit this guy. Me that I did not know, as in, what is bus? Enter bus. What's that? He now came to church after church. Yeah, let's go. Let me go and visit you. Let me go and visit your family. And it was bus. Oh. And now when you jolly just come to bus, you don't know how they used to handle this bus arrangement. So I just entered. You know how you just enter a normal car or a normal vehicle, or vehicle, as some people pronounce it, thinking that, it's normal. I just entered with reckless abandon. That's how I just felt something slash on my leg. Behold, there was a sharp edge on the seat. Ha! That's how this thing caught me off. And I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But I just wiped the blood that was coming out, and we continued with the journey, And it was like, okay, all right. Yeah. That was one of such. I mean, there's a way you say, and it didn't even occur to me to say, I'm not, you can't even bring a proper car to pick me up, or you can't even at least pay for taxi.
At least taxi.
But I think, how they say love covers a multitude of
wrong,
of sin, of transgression, or whatever. So I guess this was the case of love covers a multitude of lack. Of brokenness.
No, but you see, these are the real issues, right? These are the real things that people have to deal with to find out, how did she still follow me? She's staying. If you know Abuja, she was staying in Wuse too. I was staying in Karo.
Oh my goodness!
I was staying in Karo Federal Housing. Federal Housing that side. It's not so bad, but it's not center of town. It's that side. You have to go through valleys and that road. And I know the road. Yeah, but I mean.
Yeah, but I think, even though, yes, you could say at that time in my life, everything was fine and rosy and nice and dandy, but there are seasons, right? And I've also been through the lows. So it didn't feel odd that that what you were experiencing at that time seemed like a low. I could deal, I could handle it, I could understand, I could relate. So I see Gideon had something to say. Gideon said the remaining
99%.
We'll just
do pay as if they go. Pay as if they go ahead. So if they pay, but if you don't pay, they go. If you pay, we pay. If you don't pay, we they go.
So thinking of this finance part, right?
Yeah.
For me, right, what I was thinking about was, can we take care of ourselves? Right? Because I used to think, okay, if you can take care of yourself, like you were living somewhere and you could pay your rent, you could buy your food, you could sort yourself out, make it from day to day.
Yeah.
Then as one person, you were okay. If I could do likewise, then I was okay as one person.
Yeah.
If we could say for sure that we could take care of ourselves on our own, then coming together, there would be some gain from the synergy, right? Because now you're not, for instance, rent will not be for 2 houses, it will be for 1 house.
Yes.
And imagine how much you spend cooking with your own gas, with my own gas. By the time you start doing synergies, there will be some savings, which will be a little left over for other things. Then you can now start building from there to, can we take care of an extra person? So you can now start having the discussion about, are we ready for a child, or for children and stuff like that. Some people think, if you don't have money, you cannot get married. Do you understand that if you don't have that much money, you cannot get married because children will just come.
But
it's not as if children.
The truth is, you can never really know how much money you need to get married. Because for example, between both of us, it's true. We didn't know that we'll be having to pay the kind of bills we are paying now back then. Because our bill, or our budget, or our quality of life at that time was what we could, like you say, we could take care of ourselves, that was what it is. So it's not really feasible to say you can, except people really have money, that you say you can plan the secondary school that the children will go before you even get married. I don't know if you understand. So I'm just trying to put it out there that before you, when you are preparing for inauguration, it's good to ask these questions. It's inauguration, I said. It's Abuja that is causing me. It's not my fault. It's Abuja that is causing me. In fact, I think but when you are preparing for marriage, before you take the oath, you need to ask these questions. You need to ask questions that bother you.
Yeah.
Questions that bother you. Don't ask questions that sound religious. Don't ask those questions. Ask questions that bother you, because at this point, the assumption is that you are about to sign. You are about to swear. They are about to swear you into the marital company. You understand? So you have earned the right to know certain things. Yes, and I think that those are some of the things that you will have to raise. But we need to take a quick break from before we go into the second half, where we are talking these things, and we will also have to put in the link. 1 or 2 people can call in, and let's have a banter about these questions that we need to ask.
Okay, see ya after the break.
Are you searching for a life partner? Do you wish to have a relationship that actually works? Search no more. With the book Husband Material by Anietie Bature, a relationship coach and author, Husband Material promises clarity and direction on all the questions you have in this thing called love. With rich content from decades of real experiences and learnings, Husband Material Workbook provides an awesome read that will help make your relationship work. This is made possible with a step-by-step, hand-in-hand, frame-by-frame walk with the author to leave out the lessons in the main book. You can place your order today on Linktree/Anietie Bature. The Linktree is spelled linktr.ee/Anietie Bature. Amazon Kindle, Paystop, Okada Books, Barnes & Nobles, and Raven Heights.
I caught you dancing. Welcome
back.
People won't know that you know how to dance. They won't know. Until they catch you in secret. In secret. When they catch you in secret, they'll just know.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yes, welcome back, everyone. I am still Anietie Bature, and my husband here is still Kingsley Bature, and we're talking about preparing for marriage, the things that you need to, yes, before you say, I do. And we talk about the first one, which is, does the person really love you? It's important. Does the person really love you? And then another is finances. Is the person going to really be there for you through
thick and thin?
Yes, richer, poorer, however it plays out, will they be there for you? And the flip side being, another perspective, not the flip side, another perspective being, can you both take care of yourselves? Yeah. And can you take care of a small family, right? And if you want to go off on that tangent, relating to finance, you can start checking things like, what does this person believe about finances? Do they believe that as the man, you are supposed to be completely responsible? Imagine that that's what the lady is thinking. And meanwhile, you are thinking it's going to be, we will do it together, right? Like a team. And the person is saying, no, you're supposed to handle completely. I mean, these are some of the things you need to check, right? Yeah. Financially speaking, what's the burden on each of you? Is there someone who is taking care of extended family? Will they continue at the same level after the marriage? Yeah. And stuff like that. So you need to check. Is there someone who is in debt? Because you might be saying, oh, I love her so much. She's wonderful. She looks beautiful. She wears whatever the latest. Is that still the latest one?
No, I don't know.
Whatever the latest.
Grace, tell us what the latest one, because Grace had this to say. Grace says people still have hidden agenda. That's where you're going. So it's like, it's like this new government that is coming in. We don't know what the hidden agenda of the old government is, but it is on swearing in that you find out. So sometimes try to find out some of these
because you could say she's all that, right? But then you don't realize that maybe a number of those things are funded by debt, right? And then some people are really in a bad place, especially now. Now you pick up your phone sometimes and you get a text message, and they're telling you can easily just get in 5 minutes. You can get 20,000 naira, 100,000 naira, from one company here, one company there, and no need for collateral and stuff. And when someone is really in a bind,
I don't too like that. No need for collateral things. So there are different. There are many things that.
So you can actually put in all these. You can actually go from one company to another, and before you know it. It's terrible, because when they start calling to hound you, it's terrible.
It's terrible.
Don't just assume that everybody is okay, right?
Plenty people are not okay.
Check, because assuming it's not that when someone is in debt, it means the person is a lost cause. No, but it tells you that there's a potential for this kind of thing to happen again. So, should you look into it? Yeah.
So let's take another question.
All right, as a submissive wife, I'll move on to the next question.
Please, let's
another question is, does he want what I want? That's one other thing that I was looking out for. Are we on the same path, kind of, in life? Can our paths merge? Does he want what I want? If I am looking for children, does he want children? Right? If I'm looking for a peaceful and happy home, is that what he also wants, right? If I would like to go to a certain kind of place of worship, does he want also that kind of place of worship, or is it going on a completely different or in a completely different direction?
Different angle.
Yeah, so you just check those things. Does he want what I want? I want to be a career person. Does he want that? Right? I want to be able to do certain things. Does he want that? I want to be some people. I want to be a celebrity. Does he want that? I want to do a kind of work or a kind of job that will take me around the world because I love travel. Does he want that?
So those are key questions that need to be asked.
Yes.
As in, will he allow me travel?
Will he allow you be who you want to be? Or will he say, nope, when you become my wife, no. When you become my wife, no.
How did I answer this?
I didn't ask you as a question. I just checked.
But I don't trust you because see that foolscap sheet that you gave me. Questions.
I don't think that one was there.
You don't think it was there, but because see the foolscap sheet questions. 1 page, as in 2 page foolscap. All of you that did this thing, foolscap sheet. Now I answered. I was writing exam. Even people that are doing inauguration today, I don't know which exam they wrote, but I wrote the exam.
Yeah, but it's important to know. So I can't see the comments right now, but it's important. It's important to know because if you assume, somebody said, if you assume, you make an ass of you and me. If you assume, you might really be shocked when you get into the marriage, and you don't want shock, you don't want surprises, you don't want to come and say no, this is not what I bargained for. Some people make it look as if you deceived me, but sometimes it is you did not ask or you did not check, not that I deceived you.
And sometimes, right? So in that case of you did not ask, it's a case of I didn't feel there was a need
to tell you.
So I can stay in that position. I know a lot of us can that thing they used to say, what you don't know can't hurt you. That is not true. A lot of things you don't know will pepper you tomorrow. You may not know it today, but tomorrow. So make it your business to know. That's one of the things that she did. That tonight still paining me, but she did it anyway. So anytime I talk about it, there's usually a passion that goes with it. I answered foolscap shit of questions. So in fact, there was one, I can't remember which couple it was that came that they wanted to get married. I told the wife, I said, see, this guy has made the greatest mistake of his life. The mistake of asking you to marry him. So the moment any ladies, free expo, the moment any guy makes the mistake and asks you, I will like to just bring out all the questions you've been trying to ask that guy that he has been forming for you or telling you, giving you,
or that you felt it's too premature to ask.
It's too forward. That's these days. I don't want to be too forward. Ladies, the moment he has
don't want to jinx it.
The moment he has gone forward to ask you out, you just need to overtake him with the questions. That's all.
Interesting. Yes. So yes, that was another one for me. Does he want what I want? And I of course I found out, and those were some of the things that made me know. Okay, yes, it's safe to go forward. Jerry says, let's see. Jerry says no finance, no romance. Very funny. Find out tautologist.
Who is that one?
It's Grace. Grace says. Find outology.
Hashtag find outology. That's what you need to become at this stage before you step in, before you take the oath, before swearing in. Find out. Does he love you? Find out. Are you people on the same path?
Are you
going the same
direction? Find out what kind of liberties will I have after I get married to this person. Will my rights be infringed in any way? Because we watched that program the other day. What was it? New Amsterdam or so. Where the lady who lives on the streets.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the doctor was trying to help her to get into some kind of social care program, and everything was going well until she found out that once you get into that program, she's going to lose certain rights, and she said, no. I prefer to continue to live on the street because those rights were important to her. So marriage is not by force, but if somebody is coming to you with a proposal that will result in you losing some of those precious rights, right? You have to be aware. And it's not as if some rights you cannot live without. So you could say, yeah, no problem, I don't mind, but as long as I'm getting this and that, I don't mind. Right, that's fine. But at least be aware. Not that you get in and you now find out that the other part is saying, no, you can't do this anymore, you can't do that anymore. And some of those things are really precious to you. Then it becomes a challenge. And this is something else to check, especially on religious grounds, because some people say, hey, I really love her, I really love him. They are the best thing after fried rice, and I don't care, even though we are not of the same faith. We are free to practice our religion. You assume, right? And then after the marriage, somebody says, you know what, now you are my wife. It now means you must do this and that. No more this, no more that. These are some of the risks associated with marrying somebody of a different faith. So check, ask. Maybe have an agreement, because I can imagine some people say yes just to get you to marry them, and then after they'll say, I beg, that one was the story. So I don't know how far people will go with things like this. Okay, so
Grace was asking a question. Grace said, is it okay to ask around? Some people don't like it.
That's like word on the street. Why don't they like it?
No, some people don't like it. Now it's like you're taking my business out there.
No, I'm not going to say this person did this. Tell me more about it. I'm asking, what do you know about this person? Do you know this guy? Tell me what he's like, or tell me what she's like. There's word on the street, definitely. And it's okay to ask, especially if somebody is approaching you that you have absolutely no history.
I remember
especially we come to a big city life, Lagos, Abuja, some other places. Some people, you don't know anything about where they're coming from. You don't know their primary school, you don't know their primary school mates, you don't know their secondary school, university mates. You just know that they're in Lagos right now and they have money.
So Jerry was asking, sorry, don't like what? Jerry, what we're discussing here is that some people don't like it when you're asking about them from other people. They don't.
You're trying to find out a little more, like you're doing background check.
Don't you trust me?
Don't you trust me? No,
don't you trust me? I've told you this thing. Just take me at my word.
Anybody that is getting upset
my
that
guy,
you're asking about them.
Listen, my sisters, let me tell you, as a guy, if a guy asks you that question, don't you trust me? It's okay to say no. But I mean, really.
I don't trust you yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't trust you yet.
Let's not lie.
I've not known you enough to trust you.
Let's not lie. I don't trust you. So you don't trust me? No, I don't trust you yet. You haven't earned it. And when we get to the place where you have earned the trust, I trust you to a certain limit. I trust you to a certain even till tomorrow now. Till my wife, we were playing the other day. I said, don't you trust me? I said, when it comes to this thing, I don't trust you. Yes. But even though it was a joke, but the thing is, you have to, people, trust is in degrees. It's in degrees. It's like a graduated cylinder, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they call it? Yeah. So it's in degrees, and people earn it as they go in there.
And trust is not feelings.
It's not exactly. It is something that you have experienced. So if you say, I can trust
feelings is not trust.
I can trust my wife enough to know, okay, when it comes to matters of life and death, she will take whatever decision she will take will be in the best interest. Do you understand? That's a level of trust. But she can't. I can't trust her with that at the beginning.
Wait, first, let me tell you the kind of trust that he has in me. Hey. He trusts that he can go to sleep and wake up with his beard intact. Even though he knows that I don't like the beard. He trusts that even if they preach Samson and Delilah as the sermon this Sunday, and somehow they tell you that any woman, you have a Samson in your life is keeping hair all over the he trusts that I will not chop it in the night when he's sleeping.
Let's take some more comments, please. See, Victor said, Grace, ask. Oh, prevention is
better
better than cure.
Yes, so.
And Enobong, hi Enobong, how are you doing? And it says, in the process of finding out, is it advisable to say everything about the past? There was a series we did.
My past is my
past.
My
past is my past.
Another one we did on what's that thing?
Secrets.
Yes.
Secrets 1 and 2.
Yes.
Right. It's on this channel. We exhausted there, but the short answer. So please try to watch it. My past is my past. Secrets 1 and 2. It will give you an exhaustive perspective on that. We can ask the guys to put the link in the comment section after the show. But the short answer to that is that it is in levels. It is in degrees. You don't meet somebody today and just disclose your life history and all your medical problems and all your challenges. No. You get to a certain point, like we were saying last week. If I'm meeting you today, I have no business telling you my blood group or genotype. I meet you today, then you now ask me, don't you trust me? Of course, the answer is no. I'm done with you.
But as you are going, you're going further in the relationship, then you get to certain thresholds. Hey, this thing is going in this direction. I better tell this person now. Now about this genotype matter, I know that there are many people who have gotten hurt because they've got to a point, found out they really like this person, and then now found out that they are not compatible. So some people have taken on the approach of I'll just ask first, right? So it's not a one size fits all. Just know your own condition and decide how you go forward. And remember that whatever the outcome is, you have to take responsibility for your approach. Victor says, I believe if you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, be honest with yourself that you are marrying who is in the same wavelength as you. Talk about everything, including sex. So
this particular Victor, thank you very much. You see this particular one, sex, especially for my Christian brothers. There is something somewhere inside the mind that assumes that talking about sex is carnal, is unspiritual. It means that even talking about it, we are sinning. Let me say this: if it's your first date or your second date or your third date, and you're talking about sex, you guys are on the way to sin, right? Straight up. But we are talking about you are getting
before you say I do.
Before you say I do, you both of you have crossed many rivers and you have come to the point where you are saying, I think we need to take this to the next level. Please, by all means, sex becomes a subject that needs to be discussed. And
some people say, how do we discuss something that if we have never participated in it? Well, you have thoughts about it. You have hopes and expectations about it.
You talked about it you talked about some of these things in husband material. Buy the book. As in, you guys invest in yourself. When you went to school for 4 years and you bought handouts that you didn't even read. But you bought it.
Are you confessing what you did?
No. I asked them. Even in school, I'm a Jacometer, so not a problem. But you bought handouts I didn't even read, but just so that you could pass the course, you bought the handout. Okay, if you want to be a husband material, buy the book. It has the name, so you pass the course. Do you understand?
I have just seen something that Victor wrote. Victor said, "You don't want to buy a Camry and be sneaking out to drive the Benz next door
because you haven't told the whole truth, right? Abi?
Oh my goodness! I guess.
Victor, please, guys, can you post the link so that let's get one person in before we round up the show. Let's get one person just to gist and banter. The link is right there.
Don't want to. Driving the Benz
next door because you are sneaking or you are trying to hide. Just discuss things. It will be easier for
like the guy who had a serious love for power bike and his wife said no. No, and he actually bought everything. His entire gear was in his friend's house, and he would go, to ride with his friend. Of course, when you hit up, nobody knows who's on that.
Yeah, so you don't really need to be avoiding a lot of things. They're just discuss. I think for me one other one question that you need to ask for guys. I think, and the question really that I want to ask before you say I do is not really the lady you are asking it to. This question is to yourself, to say, am I ready? Am I ready for this thing?
Are you ready for this?
Am I ready?
Are you ready for this? I know your dad asked you that question.
Yes, he asked me
when
directly.
he went to tell his father, I want to, something, something, something. I was there, I was a witness. His father said,
Are you ready?
are you sure? He said, yes. Are you ready for
Are you
this?
ready for
He
this?
said, yes. As in that kind, are you ready? And when he said yes, his father said, okay, Annie, give me your brother's number. Because, my brother was going to, of course, stand in as my father, right? So, and that's how the whole thing went to.
Yeah, so it's a really critical question, but it's yourself that you need to answer that question. You're not asking your friend. You're not asking the lady, should we do it? This question, you must ask yourself.
Sure, you must be sure.
Am I ready? I'm not saying, I'm telling you honestly as a guy, I'm not saying you will not be afraid or there will not be
things that make you feel
inadequate or uncertain
exactly.
or whatever. But it's a question that when you ask yourself, you will know and you'll be able to say, if these are the things I might be afraid of, but if they come, I will meet them headlong. For courage is not the absence of fear, but it is being able to face the fear and do what you need to do. In spite of the fear. Yeah. Do you understand? So it's a question you must ask yourself. That's
hey,
my third one.
Ugo is on board. Hi, Ugo. Ugo says sometimes people think that they are ready, but don't know that they are not.
That's why you need to ask yourself. So it's not just remaining in the place of I'm ready. No, you ask yourself and answer the question.
Yeah, and just in case it is a case of you don't know enough, so you think you're ready when you really aren't. That's where mentors, senior friends, senior colleagues, cousins, just people in your community. You ought to have people that you can check with. So when it's time to get married, you should be able to tell that senior person in your life, that mentor figure in your life, that hey, I want to get married though. And the person will be able to tell you, okay, have you done this? Have you checked this? Do you have that in place?
That's how you get ready.
Yes, don't do these things in isolation. It's people that will show you at that junction, there is this particular
roadblock.
Exactly. How will you address it? Down that side of the road, there's a deep pit there. You have to be able to jump far. Do you know how to jump? Do you understand? It's people who have been down that this path that you want to go on that will tell you, hey, these are some of the pitfalls to avoid. These are some of the. Are you ready? So with the information they share with you, you'll be able to test and see. Not that I just wake up. Maybe you have checklist and graduate at this, get a job at this, get married at this at that, and then when time comes, you say, oh, it's that age. Let's go and get married. You have to have a check.
I think this question, there's a question that KJ just asked. I think you just answered that question right now.
Is anyone ever ready?
Yeah, but you just answered it. Hey, Silva, Victor,
I see you.
Who's with you?
Hello. Hi, how's everybody?
Yeah, baby, that's on the show.
Hi, Victor.
Hi, how you doing? Sorry, I'm not feeling too well, so my girls are just grooming me and taking care of daddy. So, but I'm trying to still participate in the conversation.
That's what the benefits.
Oh, I mean, yes.
Yeah. All right, daddy wants to talk. Daddy wants to talk. Okay, for me, let me just quickly just say interesting conversation. I mean, every conversations every weekend are always interesting, but this marriage thing, me, I'll just put it out there that I just feel like people need, and this is basically what I also share with single friends that we have conversation about, and I always say the same thing, that honesty with yourself before anybody else is very important. A lot of people are lying to themselves. And in this day and age now, where for some weird reasons everybody seems to be in competition with each other about everything, even to get married now and do big giant wedding or destination wedding or something. It's this hype. Oh, I want to be on cover of Dollar Nigeria. I need an article about my Ashwebi, and I need my. It's the narrative about the reasons why people now get married is changing and is losing. Its taste. It is after they've actually now done it and go, more. I really did this thing. I'm really married. I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with this person. I make mistake, and then suddenly divorce is the next thing, because it was not even a big deal anyway. So people need to be honest with themselves. Do I really want to do this? This person I want to spend the rest of my life with. Do I really want to fight with this person and reconcile? Wake up next day with the same person, and go on. Do I want to have arguments? This person is not going to agree with a lot of things that I want to. I might decide to do, but can I compromise with this person? I mean, look at your brothers and sisters that you grew up with. See the fight you have within yourself. Talk less of some woman or some guy from nowhere that you want to now spend the rest of your life with. So you think from that perspective and say, okay, yes. Then if I'm now honest with myself, let me also have a conversation with this person to know where I'm coming from. Let this person know where my headspace is, what my wants are. Let me also listen to what her wants are, or what his wants are, and then see, okay, I think I overwant too much, or you know what, maybe we can meet in the middle and compromise. But at least now you're going into it with an open eye, open mind. You are both honest now. So when those for worse, which will definitely come into place, you're already like you asked yourself, you talked about it. Maybe it's really beyond your expectation, but at least you can manage it now because you talked about it, you're aware of it and everything. But it's when you now live in a bubble and lie to yourself, that's the big problem. That's why marriage is not a trial and error. It's not a give me taste ice cream to taste. Let me taste the flavor before I buy it. It's for life thing. Except it's not serious to you. Then you say, let me just do. If you don't work, I go divorce. Then, my brother, you're not even serious in the first place. So yeah, that's my own cup of tea. About this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Victor.
Thank you, and get well soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. We can see you. Bye. Just to what Victor said, very key. I don't even want to reiterate it because it is very clear. Marriage is not let me taste it first, because no matter how, if we say we are getting in just to taste, it will still cost you to get out. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Either way, is an expensive taste.
Ugo, good evening. Ugo, we've missed you so much on this show. It's so good to have you here today. Ugo says, in all sincerity, no one understands marriage 100%. No matter what you are told till you enter. In fact, marriage is the greatest modifier. And those who refuse to be modified get drowned in the ocean of marriage, because marriage is an ocean with high currents.
With high currents. Because so if you're going in, if you have accepted to be inaugurated into marriage, if you have accepted the inauguration of marriage, then it means that you have also accepted the responsibility that comes with it. And a lot of times, those responsibilities will change you.
Yeah. So it's more like am I going in? Yes, I am. Am I going to do it? Yes, I am. Is it going to be tough? Sometimes. Is it going to be rosy and easy? Sometimes I'll enjoy it. But when it's difficult, what do? We will face whatever it is head on, and we will fight to get through to the other side of peace, to the place of peace, to the place of joy, to the place of love, excitement, all of that.
And I think I will add. I think I'll add that marriage really is one of those cases where that figure of speech that as you make your bed,
so you will lie.
Marriage is really true. And the Sometimes it's not you that scattered the bed, but if you want to sleep on it,
come and dress it.
you might have to arrange it.
Yeah, simple example, you have a disagreement. As you make your bed so you like, so you can decide, you know what, I'm not apologizing. And this person must admit they were wrong, you know, and,
yes.
and as long as you refuse to do anything about it, the tension continues, the bile continues to increase and intensify, and before you know it, it gets worse, you know. But you can decide, you know what, I have decided I am going to have peace. I have decided this home is going to be peaceful and joyful. So yes, whether I was wrong, I wasn't, you're going to apologize, and you try to walk your way back to the place of peace. It's a decision.
It's a decision.
Yeah. So somebody says, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer to win, or do you prefer? Do you prefer to be right, or do you prefer to be happy? Yeah. Do you prefer to be right, in which case you're waiting for that person to admit that they were wrong? Or do you prefer to be happy, in which case I don't care who started this, I don't care who was at fault. Let's just reconcile and let's just continue to be happy.
You know, there's that in rounding up, right? That's that place where you park that bus is the place where I would also want to drop it, because really, sometimes, especially us guys, right? Sometimes you lose sight of the real issue, and we get hung up on maybe my ego was bruised, I was hurt, she looked down on me, or do you understand? Some things that have to do around our manhood when our manhood comes in question, we sort of lose sight of the real issue and begin to, you know, attempt to lick our wounds and tell ourselves that whatever, I'm going to deal with her because this is what she did to me. Guys, sometimes try to separate the person from the problem
and deal with the problem.
The person, now two of them don't marry. People will go back and say, I didn't like the way this
and something, I think
didn't
this
like
is a good place to say this. As long as you continue to pay attention to the negatives, you will find more negatives. It's just easy, because when you are telling yourself, can you imagine? He even said after I come and say the next you remember, that's how the other time he said this. In fact, this thing is getting too much. Remember the other incident, you will just start going down the path of all things negative. It's not what it. Choose to go on the positive. Gideon has an interesting comment here. He says most couples find out after they say I do that they really don't. And there's a reason for that, because they didn't do the needful before going in. And the needful he's referring to is asking these important questions. Gideon, thank you so much for giving us that closing comment.
Yeah.
It's a really good one. So, people, I think that this has been yet another really insightful discussion, and thank you so much for all your contributions and your points of view and questions, and it has just been beautiful. My darling husband,
I will tell them, please go and buy husband material. You know, when we first wrote husband material, we were giving it away for free until we realized that some people, when you give it away for free, they don't read it. But then they now come back with the same problem, and they come and meet me as a certified coach that I am. As a certified coach that I am, you now come and meet me. I tell you have to pay money. So I tell you have to pay money for me to solve the thing that is not a problem that you should have solved by reading husband material.
And the money that they're paying is more than because
of the book. Because of husband material. Workbook 1.5, main book 3K or 3.5. So 5K. But of course you have to pay. You have to look at me now. Head to toe. You're not only 5K for what? Are we joking here? But anyway, what point was I trying to make? I was trying to make the point that you should buy husband material and read it. We gave it away for free sometime. But if you have it, go and pick it up on the board. If you don't have it now, buy it. Why? So that you pay attention and solve the problem before you jump in. Because after you jump in, you become a counseling case. And by the grace of God, I will still be here. Just like some people.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Thank you so much, everyone. Yes, thank you. And we will see you next time on Common Sense for Relationships. And I'd like to remind you that common sense is not so common.
Bye. Bye. Bye, husband material last year. Bye. Bye. Oh my goodness. What a show. What a show.
Thank you once again for joining us. We hope you got great value today. Our goal is to bring you valuable information to help you make better decisions in your life and relationships. Please do not forget to subscribe, share, and like.